with you one of my favorite poses, which is Kapotasana or a pigeon pose. So a few things before we start. If you have any knee injuries or maybe your lower back is sore or you have any inflammation in your hips or arthritis, probably best to either be extremely slow and careful practicing this or just come into a regular butterfly to open your hips that way. If your hips are feeling good today, knees are feeling good, then we can go through this together. So we'll start in downward dog and we'll take it from there. So from downward dog, engaging the core, as you inhale, we'll start with the right side, drawing the right knee forward to the ground between the hands, the right ankle behind the right wrist. Settling down and right away making sure that that front knee feels comfortable, okay? If you're already feeling some tenderness there, you can take that right heel and bring it closer to the pelvis and see how that feels. If it's feeling better, then you can stay there. If it doesn't feel good, come into butterfly instead. Okay. So letting the hips sink down, looking behind you to make sure that left leg is in one line with the hip and the toes are untucked. You can either, if you're feeling something in this knee, maybe put a blanket under the knee, and if that doesn't help, then you can tuck the toes under. Okay. So when you're sitting here, if you're feeling quite comfortable to deepen the opening into the front hip, you can flex that foot and pry the heel away so that that shin is more parallel to the front of the mat. But again, it's very intense for the knee joint, so move slowly and be careful. Make sure your body's happy here. What we want to do is square our pelvis towards the front of the mat, drawing that left hip forward a little and coming off of that right sitting bone. So often we sit to the side and then go down. And what we actually want to do is come to the center. So there's no weight sitting into that sitting bone. Our weight is nice and centered. Now from here, we're going to come into pigeon before resting pigeon. So resting pigeon is when you relax forward. That's usually everyone's favorite version. So we're going to start here because it's a really nice way to open the pelvis. If you want to deepen the stretch through the front of that left hip, your hip flexor, you tuck your back toes under, lift that knee and slide the knee back, and then flatten the foot. Just having a look back to make sure that foot's still straight. From here, if you're feeling anything in the low back, you can take your palms in front of you and lean into the palms. If your back feels strong, you can take your fingertips on either side of that front leg and lift up from the chest, letting the shoulders relax down. And we'll just breathe here. Inhaling to lift and lengthen the spine, and exhaling, letting the pelvis sink down. If your pubic bone is almost or touching the floor and your spine is nice and straight, another option to increase the opening in the front of the body is to take the hands behind you, interlock your fingers in yoga mudra, straightening the arms. And again, if your neck feels strong, you can let the head gaze upwards. Continuing to breathe deep. Now from here, we'll come into everybody's favorite version. Your hands are interlaced, we'll release the hands. And then very slowly, making sure there's no pain at all in that front knee or in the hips, you can slowly start to relax forward. Maybe leaning into those palms or coming down to the forearms or even stretching way out, if that's what feels good for the hips. And you can rest here for as long as feels comfortable. Pigeon is one of my favorite poses. I will often sit in this pose for up to 5 minutes because it feels that good. You listen to your body, you make sure everything feels okay. Remember, it's a very deep opening. You have a little visitor. So when you're ready to come out, you press your palms into the floor. As you inhale, you carefully press yourself back upright. We're going to come back to downward dog. So we'll tuck those back toes under, flatten the palm shoulder width apart. And on an inhale, we'll step right back. Taking the feet hip width apart. You can shake out that leg if you need to. And find your breath. Pigeon's a really nice pose for creating more flexibility in the hips. When we start with that full pigeon and our spine straight, we're opening up the front of the body, opening our fourth chakra, our heart chakra. If your head tilts back, you're opening your fifth chakra in the throat. And it's just a really nice pose to keep that flexibility and openness in the hips. But again, be really mindful of the body. Any pain in the joints is a bad sign. Pain body telling you it's not happy, so make sure you protect your knee. Until next time, lots of happy practicing. See you soon.